All right, welcome to today's episode of Dynasty the Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth, and hold on, yes, my bad. I'm your host, Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth. Y'all know how I do. I ain't really tripping, too slick. We back, better. I just want to say, man, before I start, today is it's one of these days. It's not really a freestyle. It's more of a continuation of what we were speaking on yesterday. It's not going to be too detailed. It's going to be very short and quick. I titled it today's episode Admirable, and I woke up really motivated today. And most days I'm motivated, but today I woke up very motivated. I had an extra surge energy. I didn't have too much to go to do or whatnot. My routine is now my routine here. It's pretty consistent, and the way when you step into a realm of being in a public, this is one of the most secure places in America with the cameras. I don't know about just being secure, but there's a camera everywhere. And, I thought cameras were everywhere in Florida, but there's a camera everywhere in Washington D.C. And I don't mind that type of surveillance. I do my show every day, but the only thing is different is like you only time you're gonna see a camera really is that's official camera is when you go to a public place. Now it's like on every corner because it's built up. This is a city. Washington D.C. is a city. It's very nice. I enjoy the atmosphere. It's a different crowd. I'm not judgmental at all. So, I try to come and put my and try to enjoy myself and try to accomplish what I need to accomplish. Like I said, right now we're just gonna talk about just having being able to motivate others. Um, one of the best feelings in the world is to uplift someone. I don't I did that. I tried my best to do that my whole life. So, I don't like to come in a room and somebody's sad or down. And, I feel like that's what type of energy some people wanted to be. Now, I'm gonna give you a quick review. Yesterday I didn't get to go to I could go to one at 2:30, which is still very important, but I won't be able to stay long enough. I might pop in for 10 to 15 minutes because I have to be back somewhere by 3 o'clock every day. This is how my living situation is set up while I'm down here. I'm being honest about it. It's kind of petty how they got it set up, but it's better than nothing. So, I'm not a like I said, I'm coming very honest when I talk about what's going on with me personally. It's not nothing bad. I don't have no vice right now. I eat 3 meals a day. I don't eat, and I'm doing exactly what I need to do, far as speaking on the politics, speaking on my welfare, my future, and my children's future, and my nieces and nephews' future, depending on how y'all want to put it down in the system. I don't got time to dwell in the negative. I want them to have the most abundant of resources when it's time for them to go, and I'm trying to still fight for mine because I have a hard time with people spreading rumors, spreading. Okay, back in Florida, okay, these people, I'm in Washington, D.C. right now. These people have not sent me my income tax checks sent from like 2018, 2019, to like 4 years now. I was a student last year. I didn't file the year before, and this year I didn't. I didn't feel a need to work, or I mean the year before. I don't feel like I need. I can definitely file for the years that I went to school. I went to school for a half a year, and I went to school for a full year, so I could be a student. But the last 2 years, I'm not stressing that. You know what I'm saying? Far as anything going besides, you know what I'm saying? I'm not stressing no income tax because y'all ain't sending me my money. Now that leads to, the white supremacist hate groups or whoever they paid, since they don't want to take credit or the blame for, being disruptive in my life financially. Um, so that's why I'm in Washington D.C. now. I'm not really stunning them really, but y'all in my way still. You know what I'm saying? Y'all now I'm able to see y'all every day in y'all face, and laugh at y'all because y'all petty and y'all don't like the way y'all life is set up because y'all pick somebody to be a leader of y'all that has an issue of being petty, being white supremacist, being, you know, not not intuitive with the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? They stuck in a bubble of hate. They stuck in a bubble of being, you know, naive about what the future is and what the actual, you know, landscape of the world is. You know what I'm saying? It might be some corruption everywhere over here, but a lot of that is due to the fact that the Europeans that are in this country, that are descendants of the Europeans that's still in the world being disruptive, where you talking about the Russia and Ukraine war, or you talking about people not paying for their debts of what they done in war in this century or the last century that just passed, not too far. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been that long ago. So, you know, they kind of naive about why they still in turmoil. They have not settled their debts to these people. And they don't want to put the right people in place so you don't have this much turmoil. All you got to do is move out the way, put the people in power that you need to put in power, and then you'll get a better result for your future or your children. But you want to be an old ass hater, and you want to sit here and be in front of people. You want to promote, you know, sit and wait your turn in line or whatnot, instead of putting the proper people in place, actually utilizing your women properly, because that is what the main problem is. Y'all trying to hide this whole scandal about the pedophilia that goes on in this country, and it goes on in different parts of the world, but they put it right on our step. You got the 34, he got 34 felonies, and they never got charged. That don't even make sense. That's denial. That's senile. That's like one of the most, you know, not taking responsibility is one of the first things you learn that you have to do to gain, to step up. You have to take responsibility for the things you have done. And that's what I'm saying. Then they still trying to paint. That's what goes back to me in my personal life, because I don't want to talk about nobody's personal life. I don't know what they went through to get their spot, get their seat in the world. But I'm gonna go back to what I was just saying. My income tax check has not came to my mailbox. I sent it to a very high level mailbox the last time. I don't know what to tell y'all. That mailbox been there for 30 plus years now. It might have been longer than that if I'm counting right. And I sent it to a lockbox, which is, you know, the three of them that didn't come there. You know what I'm trying to say? So somebody messing with the mail, somebody in denial about who they are as a person, and they need to get it together. Now I'm in Washington D.C. I don't like to be a snitch. I like to speak on topics that might help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? The $3,000-$4,000 might not even be in Washington D.C. right now. But what you're not going to do is come down here and from Florida and tell people that I had to go in the store in Walmart and Publix to take food so I could eat every day. You're not finna slander me like that, because I'm a man. I could step up and say I did it. I didn't wear no mask. I didn't go in there stealing every day. I didn't go in there taking hundreds of dollars of food every day. I took what I needed to eat to fuel myself, because y'all got weirdo energy people standing around me every time I go out the door. And y'all want to seek energy from me. So when y'all take energy from my vessel and my spirit, I'm gonna go refuel myself, and y'all gonna learn that I don't got time to even yes sir you, no sir you, do what you say, feel how you feel. I don't care what you got going on, because I got a family I gotta protect and serve, as far as protecting them. And you're not gonna disrespect me coming down here, because I ain't took nothing out of nobody's stole in Washington D.C. So y'all not gonna come at me like that. So today, when y'all do the little dick and pony show, when y'all want to follow me with all these gay men and homophobic men, and y'all want to come over here and a bus crowd, the bus, I even did this stuff for a long time. I'm not tripping about it. It doesn't bother me, but I'm gonna speak on it because I'm a man. I'm not a little child. I'm 34 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to keep nothing real. This is what my show is about. That's why I go to the senator's office every day. I signed in today. Elite Association has signed in today for the second time. I ain't scheduling nothing until I get my suit and tie and I get my teeth fixed and I go in there and speak to that lady properly. I don't. You seen what I talked to y'all about when somebody walked in there in a meeting that it was plenty of senators there. He should have sat down and listened and paid attention, because he don't be here enough. He don't be in the office enough, and these people don't want. And I don't take. I feel like they don't take what we got going on in Florida seriously, because we got stupid people in charge. You know what I'm saying? So And I ain't kind of call them stupid. I apologize for that. I've been making fun of people, but when people don't have the energy and they're and they living off reserves and this stuff that I talk about with people stealing energy, come on now, get it together. Pass the torch. Get your people standing around you, prop you up. However you did it, figure it out. Don't come over here on the wrong side. You know, you know the difference between this type of being and your type of being. You feel me? Y'all been practicing the same cockamamie ass shit for a very long time. So that's why y'all getting them same cockamamie ass results. And y'all still gotta yes sir people without people knowing, and y'all still lying to the people in front of the camera and all this good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really trying to diss because I love the state that I'm from. I wouldn't have been the person who I am. People want to talk about my teeth. The first time I broke my teeth, I was working out in a 4 a.m. workout. I promise to God I was. The second time, I was literally in a very small group of people that are my coworkers, and I was in the house before 12 o'clock. This is not a joke. I was not hanging out with a whole bunch of people. I don't have time to lie. I don't have time to none of that. People want to lie on me. I never disrespected not what. The biggest argument I ever had with a female that I dated was the person that has my child, and it was specifically about her trying to break up us breaking up right after my child was only 2 years old. That was the biggest argument I ever had with a female. I never put a hand on a female about, when I'm in a relationship with them. That's not the energy I have. I love females. I love being in a relationship. I'm a one. I love. It ain't take a lot of energy for me. I don't want to be with 3, 4, 5 different females at a time. That's not the type of person I want to be. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that I can't. It's just that I don't feel like I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I have tremendous respect for females because my mother was a single mother for a long time. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot after her and my dad um, broke up when I was a child. So, I respect women, and this women's month. I want to make sure that's out there. It's people that don't lie, that don't date it. They don't put so much salt in the air. You know what I'm saying? I hate to tell you who it is, but I know it's my, when I'm, my baby mother. It's not my. That comes with the territory of having a child with someone. But then the other people that I've dated, you got to keep your mouth closed because your lies are turning into a whole shit show of bullshit. That's why I keep my numbers limited to even people even saying to say they associate themselves with me. I don't have time to play kitty games at this age. You know what I'm saying? You can approach me. I put my email out. We can handle it professionally. I don't got time to lie. I'm in front of some of the people that these people get millions of votes to be in these positions. So I ain't really got time to talk too much no more. I'm already in that prime time lineup every day if I want to be. I never have to go hard or go this way or that way to be in a position of to speak for the masses. This is not hard for me to do. I'm literally doing my show right now. I don't care how many people say they ain't seen what I've been talking about. They gonna get the picture one day. They gonna get it sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take somebody that's gonna be already with the clearance to okay me to the masses, but I'm not tripping about that. That's not the biggest thing. I have a child that I have to speak to every day like this. I have nieces and nephews I have to speak to every day. Like my family's not small. We go at least 400 or 500 deep that I know of. Just based off my generation, my mother's generation, my grandmother's generation. I don't care if they like me or not, or they like my mom or not, or my grandma or not. That's big, and then it's my dad's side, the same thing. So you do the math. I ain't really tripping. It might be 1,000 strong now, 1,000 plus strong. So I ain't tripping about no other people because that's how it's gonna end up being. If you do the numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I know that everybody not gonna like how I speak. And some people are intimidated by white supremacists and white power. I'm not. They've been harassing me my whole life. When I go out and drive to the corner store, they've been harassing me since I was in college. I walk to the store, they're harassing me. So, I speak on this stuff all the time. You got to, and then that goes back to what the title is, admirable. It's not that many admirable people nowadays. So, people like to cut corners. I can't say I have never, walked through a grass and cut. That's about worse than I caught it a corner because I don't really, when it comes to preparation, I take pride in preparation. You know what I'm saying? If you ever, I want to. Then I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. It might not be political, but just me, and it is political because I was dealing with a lot of football players. So these are young men now. These people are adults, full grown adults now, most of them. And then I got a youth, a couple teams that I coach. My softball team that I coached, those girls were 6 years old in like 2018. Now they're like middle school, like my child. And then I got same with the basketball team that I coached in 2020. They're middle schoolers, going to be high schoolers soon. And they still young men and young women. and and I want to know I'm not speaking, y'all can still get a lot of lessons from your parents, but the stuff that I instill to you, hopefully you remember that you have to be disciplined and you're gonna take time to prepare yourself, and you gotta mentally prepare yourself before you can physically prepare yourself. So when you go into something, you gotta mentally be like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do the reps, and if it's time to get extra reps, I'm gonna do more reps. And it goes back to what I've been teaching the whole time as a coach. You got to make sure you get your reps. And if you don't get your reps, you could do stuff when you're on your own. So it's basically what I be talking about. The same message is the same. It ain't nothing changed. And that's how I look at these. Like when I do my podcast, like today, I didn't really have to write nothing down. I gave you a review. Hopefully you watched what I said yesterday. It was very powerful, informative as well, because what they're talking about is still the budget. That's all over the news. The hearing I went to wasn't even discussed in the public. It wasn't even discussed it wasn't the main thing, but that was the main thing here. You know what I'm saying? So that means it's stuff that, I didn't put too much, I didn't put no real information out. I took notes. I took, information that they probably on display somewhere, it's still on C-SPAN, you get what I'm saying? So it didn't need to be discussed, I guess. It's on one of the biggest neutrals. Pretty much that's a neutral. C-SPAN to me has been neutral my whole life. So I never seen nothing more neutral than C-SPAN. So I'm glad they was in there, recording that and talking about it. Like today, it's one at 2:30. I forgot what it was exactly. It's pretty funny that I can't remember the title of the hearing. So I hate that I just walked in, I signed in. I went to the Florida cabinet. Well, that's why I look at it. It's called it's an office cabinet, whatever. And I signed in, and I just was letting them know that I'm here. I haven't made my schedule. The scheduler gave the guy, who's supposedly over, he wasn't there. But I like to laugh about people not knowing that I could actually legislate and make my own act or own law and pass it through and try to get it passed through like you did. So I was like, what are you talking about? Like you're not over nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at it like in a manner of like, you don't think I know what you just got appointed by the person that's over this office, our senator right now. You didn't your position could easily be replaceable. Like you're volunteering basically. You're not really volunteering because I'm pretty sure they have other ways to earn. But when you in politics, there's nobody getting paid for real unless the person that we appointed pays you. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a whole bunch of people that's interns, that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? You got people that's following you, that's inspired by you. This is the stuff I already know, so I could be in the same position as y'all. If I do enough of these, coming in here and actually critiquing and dissecting and putting the information out, I could easily get one of you guys' position. But I don't want your position. I have my own thing. I coach sports, and I coach men, and I coach strong women. I don't want nobody to be in my circle that's weak and want to tap dance for somebody and that's out here doing improper things just to get ahead. That's not what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't even been to Virginia. When I go to Virginia, the longer they take for me to get my suit that I signed up for recently, and I'm not playing about training and preparing myself as a man, the longer they take, I'm gonna have to take it to the Capitol in Virginia. And if I go to the Capitol in Virginia, I'm gonna bring up my grandfather, I'm gonna bring up my great aunt, and the aunts that ascended already, and my father that ascended already are gonna be the main topics. I'm trying to be calm and patient and raise the generation now and raise my family now, because we all got children, but y'all want me to get petty. Y'all want me to go dig up old graves and dig up old tombstones, and y'all don't really want that type of pressure because y'all not prepared for this, what I'm doing right now. And y'all don't need to tell me, y'all don't need to lie. Y'all need to actually tell the truth about how you try to steal my identity. Come on, be open about it. Like, drop the situation, leave it alone. I'm not going up here putting no paperwork on y'all. I'm just talking it in public. That means everybody had their hand in it, or they allowed it. And this is from people that are supposedly in authority. That's what I'm trying to talk about, and I'm not even frustrated. Like I said, it's excitement more than anything. I could coach here and I could ball out. Like I know for a fact the coaches here are not the coaches. The coaching level in Florida, it's not let's just say the players have a lot of training before they get to high school and they're more high level. And you know what I'm saying, it's hard to get to them when you have your father or your uncles, they're all in a league type of situation. I come in up East Coast, it's a basketball territory mostly, or it used to be. I don't know how much it's changed, but I could tell there's lack of leadership from a man, especially from a black man standpoint. A lot of people are institutionalized down here because they're used to not, they're used to finessing, and that ain't a bad thing. At least they get what they want. I don't understand finessing. I understand finessing a little bit. It's hard for me to understand because they don't allow the black men to do finessing in Florida. They allow the women to do it, but you can still go to prison for a long time. I've seen too many examples of that. So you finesse as a black woman, and you can go to prison still. But I speak on these things because everybody got their ways, man, and that's pretty much it. Now I want to talk a little bit more. Yesterday we was talking about the issue of immigrants. And I talked about it's you like who you like, and you don't want to you don't want to build your family with weak people. So unfortunately, that's what ended up happening in my family. There's not a bad thing that the people that my parents and my grandparents married, and they didn't date or marry weak people. And the same thing goes for my how it ended up being with me and my sister. Like we're not trying to mate with no simple. They might not be as intelligent as or put together as we is, or allowed us to come together. This generation got an issue with trying to get money out of people, trying to follow old slave tactics. But we trying to work through that. I'm not tripping about people trying to finesse. They think people who are the people who know how to be the finesser is that you gotta use your mental capacity to outdo a finesser. You don't have to finesse. You just gotta mentally use your mind to surpass that, and that's just what it is. I think we mostly have come through. Especially as far as my, people still might try, but you only gonna put yourself in the hole trying to do something that's way past your time. And yeah, that's what it comes down to. Now, just talking about immigration, when you want to finesse something, the best thing you can do once this play has been ran is to be honest after that. You can stop the person you trade, especially if you got caught up and you did too much and you basically done lost your soul off trying to get a couple of dollars basically, and it ain't working out. If you know how America's built, they was just talking about America being, what is this, 550 trillion dollars in debt, and some crazy number. It's like a crazy number in debt. So the money you have, you literally could not serve there. Whoever we owe could come to America in full force. I'm talking about every last country could come full force. And I hate to give ideas like this, but you have to realize what's going on. You come here to get money, right? But you are in debt already. Now, somebody like me, I might have debt from like school, but I know what type of being I am. You know what I'm saying? That piece of that Constitution, my people is traced back to being before the Constitution. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Now, the fact that they want to claim land and put stipends on money and food, not money, but put stipends on food and clothes and shelter, that's why we need to get a job. That's why we have to try to get a social. That's why we got to speak up in public about the imbalance of, basically, I want to call it resources, the imbalance of resources, and the stupidity of what you spend in our printed money is paper. Mind you, it's paper. They could print the $50 trillion today. Start in every 50 state with 1 trillion. Have it printed up wherever it's supposed to go. They could send it to them, right? But that's what the thing. That's the trick right there. This is the straw man story of them saying that they're in debt. The fact that they could print something, and the fact that they still telling people that they're in debt. The problem is nobody want that piece of paper unless you own this turf, unless you own the United States. They want everything but that piece of paper. They want ideas. They want humans. Like they want the people that's like the best of the best to be in their land on their turf. You know, you remember if you remember, I'm gonna use this example because he's ascended and passed away. I don't know what his family situation. All his kids are strong, but Kobe got like 5 children, so he's still alive. Yeah, we want to take it how you want. This is basically how I look at it. You know, I think one had Senate and passed as well, but she just as powerful. Her sister, you know, how I hate to say how it ended up being. You know, I'm pretty sure they tapped in. They had enough. You know, he wasn't in debt, and he was definitely well rounded as far as where he was from. But just using that as an example, um, you know, they wanted him to play in China basketball after he left the Lakers and stuff. But you know, being a Hall of Famer, being somebody that you know put so much stamps over here is not it was unnecessary. Now I'm gonna use an example. We could use like Allen Iverson or Tracy McGrady, who did not win a championship. Stephon Marbury went to China and played for like 10 years after he left the league, and he's from New York. And you know, all that stuff helped the East Coast. You know, him with his shoes, all kind of stuff. You know, all that stuff like that. Them guys could have easily went over there and balled out. I think he did go. I think AI went for a little bit, like a year. One of those went out of the country. But like those people who didn't win a championship could easily market themselves somewhere out and get the same amount of I won't say money, it won't be monetarily, but those people will beloved them and treat their family with respect and protect their family. And those are the type of deals that they want instead of having money, because the attention will be on their country and we won't go over there trying to steal and mess up their stuff with war, all that stuff like that, you know, because a lot of these countries are pretty peaceful. But you got to remember the history of America is teaches you how the people that were kicked out of European started United States, and the people that didn't, the people after they started fixing United States up and intertwining with and took over or whatever, rediscovered whatever story they told, whatever way they got it built up to where they was in power. That's when the people started coming over without being kicked out. So yeah, that story's been told several times in history books and definitely in college. They might not want to tell it, but it is. Damn, I think this. Oh man. Oh, that's just a like. Oh, I thought I didn't have the volume up on the Twitter feed on the Twitter one. But yeah. Honestly, you know, I try not to give too much. Some days I want to be real historic and factual. Today I kind of went, you know, it was a little bit. It's like very. It's nothing. It's life is happening right now. Nobody wants to hear no old history facts. You know, y'all in school definitely do your research for me because I know how it is. You know, when you're in school, do your own thing. Like I, when you are in college, when you're in college and you have the inspiration to do something like, you know, content creating, do your part and do your own thing and drop it at the same day, same time. Because they can't stop you, because a lot of those college professors use your knowledge and your research for their own books. So, you know, I know why they was putting me to sleep. That's what they was putting me to sleep for, because I actually milked college. I still gotta finish college. I'm not in no rush. I'm not the one to, you know, I want to experience things. I want to actually teach it to my children while they're young so they can experience and gain wealth without even getting that, having to feel like they got to tap dance in college. You know, they can finish high school, get that diploma so they can roam in America without people disrespecting their intellect. That's the main thing I talk about with them. But if they can extend and accomplish a social level of monetarily, whether they could lead the country. You know, my niece is already into politics. My child is a savant when it comes to fashion. and a big light. Same with my nephew. That he's very intellectually sound. Popular, cool, popular, alone, whatever you want to call him, fly guy, all that stuff. Same with my nieces and nephews. That spread it out. They all got their own ways of just being cool because that's what my family tree looks like, and it's only gonna get better the younger it is. And we talk, and then that's what I gotta make sure. And then, I speak on I speak on them because I want them to be protected, and I don't want them to be scared of success. And I don't, and it's not like I'm not like doing like a warning of. I'm not doing like a warning to like scare people off from them. I'm doing it like saying that I want them to not be messed with mentally, or I want them to make their own choices. Leave my group of family out. What I'm saying, out of your nonsense, out of your losing ways. What I'm saying, I know people are gonna come at them, but hopefully they get the message that it's gonna happen. But it's me speaking over their life and having putting my light over theirs is gonna only be brighter for them to accomplish what they want. And the same thing with people that's a part of my part of me, which is like me coaching or me mentoring or whatever I've done for you. It's the same thing. I be on Twitter. I don't really comment on Twitter. The stuff that the channel that they got me on Twitter or X, whatever they calling it now, is a dumbest feed ever. It's not on the level that I want to be. I'd rather be on a sports channel or a real high level political channel, but they got me on a stupid channel on X because I had to redo. If they had my original Twitter account, and all my emails that got stolen, which I ain't really, I'm still online, so I laugh about it because this is basically like I don't know how many. I won't call them burners. I just call them people just wanted to hack me and beat me. So yeah, like it's one of those things. Media is media. But now I think this is it. I'm not going to speak too much. I'm going to run down here and check a little bit out, and then I'm going to go do what I'm supposed to do to check in, close my day off, and enjoy what I'm doing. So that's it for today. I know I was about to get a little bit into sports. Well, I was telling you, I be on what's this? What is this? I forgot what it's called. The new on Threads. I be on Threads commenting. I be on Twitter commenting. Sometimes I don't do Twitter as much. Like I said, it took the emails away from me. But I try my best. I'm not fake. So the thing that I see that's fake is like the people with blue checks now. They don't respond to like their people. I don't know if they. I don't even think they probably. It's like I know what it's like to have stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Like be a coach full time, high school level. Be preparing. You have time. You have plenty of time, and people that taught me, they still be on there. So I'm like, I know these famous people are so fake. They don't even know what's going. When they get 40, 50 years old and they retire, they're gonna be lame. They're gonna be the lamest people in the group because y'all did all that. I'm too famed out. I'm too this. The worst part is the people that's not even famous and their parents famous. That's funny to me too. Y'all better respond to everybody coming on y'all because y'all ain't even got the talent. So how I do. But yeah, that's for the people who pocket watching and y'all supposed to be rich and famous and whatever. Y'all gotta mind y'all's. But that's it for today. I appreciate everybody listening. I am Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth. This is Dynasty the Podcast Show. I appreciate it. I will have one tomorrow. Hopefully, they don't do that weirdo stuff they were doing this morning, reminding what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'm so new to Washington, D.C. It's unnecessary to go off what other people say. It's better to go off what you see and how you see I move. And it's better to approach me with respect than with disrespect because I don't come from a state of, I don't care how many homosexuals hop out talking about they from Florida. The shit ain't sweet in Florida. And I'm about real roots in Alabama, South Carolina. Wherever in the South. So thank y'all for listening. And I appreciate y'all. And I might miss the state, but y'all get the picture. I appreciate you. See you.